When 87 runners signed up for a 50-mile marathon in Utah's Wasatch Mountains, many of them had not checked the updated forecast and had no idea just how treacherous this race would become.
Now in blizzard conditions, the runner's only hope was to make it to the nearest aid station, miles up the mountainside.
There's an old saying, with great risks come great rewards. And all of these heroes took some really big risks.
But the reward was knowing 87 stranded runners made it home to safety. And our reward is you watching. We'll see you next time on Hearts of Heroes. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, Robin. The walls of snow continue to grow in Truckee, California, up to 30 inches in the
48 hours. Cottonwood Canyon showing some pictures of the rough roads there. They have up to 20 inches in all of Utah. But look at the severe storm forecast. Remember, January, we had 3 times the average number of tornadoes.
we could see some tornadoes and damaging wind from Mississippi and Louisiana. Your local weather now in just 30 seconds.
One bang.
The school play was really coming together.
Awarded.
Coming up, women and heart attacks. One mother has a warning after experiencing an unusual symptom. Also, your local news and weather next.
Doesn't hurt at all. And this one was magic for me. Cold water exposure. My pool's about 50 degrees right now. Whew, does the trick. Other people just finish their showers off with a cold blast. That works too.
The cold water does seem to give a jolt to the part of the nervous system that's meant to focus on resting and digesting.
Feels really good after you get out. Whew. After you get out. But I did learn so much about this underappreciated part of our bodies affected by viruses or traumas like concussions, and keeping healthy with some of the practices. I thought of them as woo-woo or optional, George, but now I really see them as incredibly valuable.
They make a real difference. Thank you, Becky. Let's go to Ginger.
Thanks.
Thanks, George. I want to take you to Dallas because they are dry for now, but some rain is coming, but it will not be of the frozen type. You know that people are
After an ice storm in Austin. So that is unfortunate. Looking at that heavy rain that will move along the warm front, not tomorrow. It will erupt into damaging wind and even isolated tornadoes. So if you're in Mississippi, southeastern Arkansas, down to most of Louisiana, watch for tomorrow. That front come through.
The potential for severe storms. That same moisture is going to move on up and bring snow for parts of Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. Let's get a check now a little closer to home.
Good morning at 8:21.
Anytime. Okay, bless y'all. Peace Like a River is out on Friday, February 24th. Cannot wait, Ginger. How about you?
Oh, I can't wait, and I loved hearing from both of them. Great interview, Robin. Now I want to take you to Golden Globe winner Gina Rodriguez. She's back with a brand new comedy. It's called Not Dead Yet. And you can love it, and be sure to catch the 2-episode premiere tomorrow night at 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC. Let's get a check now a little closer to home.
Orange juice and no added sugar. Tropicana.
It is a slick morning in Portland, Oregon. They've got that winter weather advisory for the next couple of hours. And we also had big time snow happening in Flagstaff. You know, they are nearly at their average for the year, and we're not even close to when they're done with the season. So 86 inches already. Getting more, look at Telluride with 12 to 24 inches. So that's the snowfall forecast. But coming up here on GMA, we are live in Chicago, home of the Deep Dish Pizza. It's our United States of Pizza competition. My family in Chicago would be so upset if I didn't just call it right now. They won. Just kidding. GMA has a whole contest. You guys stick around for it. Your local news and weather next.
Counselor. It's confidential, free, available 24/7, 365 days a year. Now let's go to Ginger.
Thanks, George. I have us with wind. We've got another that's coming through. We've got winter storm warnings from Arizona and New Mexico right through Colorado. I-25, it's not just about the snow you're going to get. It's about the gusts of wind, especially south of Denver. Dallas, it's already raining. This is storm number 1. But by tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see the sky erupt into what could be a tornadic evening and overnight, which would mean damaging winds possible from Cleveland down to Pensacola, tornado threat through Thursday in this huge region. Now, out ahead of this, we already had such a warm January. Look what's about to happen. We could see hundreds 200 plus record warm temperatures for the rest of this week. So numbers that are 20, 25 degrees above average. Look at Cleveland going to 64 on Wednesday. Raleigh, nearly 80 by Thursday. That's the big picture. Let's get a check a little closer to home.
Well, as Ginger mentioned,
how are you feeling?
Oh, I am so
good?
much better. Yes, thank you. I am really like when someone says, tell me you're a parent of a preschooler without telling me you're a parent of preschooler. That's what I've been the last month, just sick a lot. So everybody gets it at home, I know you do. But thank you for asking, Robin, much better. I do have a great option for everyone, and speaking of, I watched this while I was down and out. But for Valentine's date night, this would be really good. National Geographic's Oscar-nominated documentary of erupting volcanoes. They really were volcano chasers, and they changed the science. It's really special, and it does have a lot of love. Let's get a check now, a little closer to home.
lots of love in this forecast, starting in the 40s this morning with the breeze.
Even more. First in California right now. It's the start of a cross-country storm that could affect millions. Ginger tracking it from Soda Springs, California. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, George. I'm nearly waist deep in what fell in the last 18 hours. I'm telling you, I've been showing pictures of this place for the last 2-3 months. It is unbelievable to see homes like the one behind me that you can't even see because they've had that much snow.
The Sierra Nevada getting sacked with more snow. Trucks and cars at a standstill on I-80 at infamous Donner's Pass. The road's just too much to navigate. Many spending the night in their cars, waiting for plow.
For you to be there. We know how passionate you are about sharing this information. Please, please stay safe, everybody out there. Ginger, we'll be back to you a bit later. But we want to let everybody know that that storm is also threatening parts of the south that are still recovering from the
that community in recent days since those tornadoes first came through. We're thinking about all of them. You stay safe out there. Thank you, Phil. Okay, we turn now to, we head back to Ginger. Hey, Ginge.
Rebecca, we'll get your local weather now in just 30 seconds.
Your paint is really bad.
What? I said best coffee I've ever had.
You okay?
Mom, the walls look awful.
What?
I said, can I have a waffle?
Waffle. Thank you. Should've used bear. Sorry, sign where? Oh, I said should've used bear. It's got one coat hide.
Today, let's paint with Behr Marquee, the #1 rated interior paint.
It looks great in here.
Behr, exclusively at the Home Depot.
Oh, Ginger.
Thank you. Protecting the pepperoni. I love what he's doing there. At the same time, being a hero. Thank you very much. It's good to be back. Unfortunately, I've got some pictures maybe you didn't want to see. A big-time, serious spring snowstorm in the Great
Lakes, the western Great Lakes, especially across Wisconsin. Remember, they were 90 degrees last week, less than a week ago, and now more than 9 inches of snow. Some parts of
central Wisconsin had nearly 2 feet, 23 inches. So it's pretty cold behind there, you could imagine, and that is going to filter in. So by tomorrow morning, it feels nice and crisp out there this morning in the Northeast. It's going to feel downright chilly. Mid-30s for the wind chills, 44 for Baltimore, 24 in central Pennsylvania. Now we're going to take that cold and then get a whole new storm, but it looks like it's going to erupt more into damaging wind. Late evening for the plains up through, say, Omaha, Des Moines. Starts after 7 or so in the evening, so keep those Thursday. That's going to go more south, including Little Rock. That's the big picture. Your local weather now in 30 seconds.
The Chase Inc. Business Premier Card.
Takes practice, but absolutely not. Absolutely not. Pure leaf, lower sugar, just the right amount of sweetness. Hi, welcome back to GMA. We start with Snoqualmie Pass. So in Washington State, they still have a big year, nearly 350 inches. They've still got some days to ski and snowboard out there. And there's more snow where that came from. Winter weather advisories are up for parts of the Cascades into the northern Rocky Mountains. All of those wind alerts down to Flagstaff, parts of New Mexico, and then the same areas that got hit there in the northern Great Lakes, western northern Great Lakes, gonna get more snow.
Coming up here on GMA, the race to save the Colorado River. Overnight, part of it was named the most endangered river in the United States. And now I'm going to bring you to some of the western states that are using weather modification to give Mother Nature a boost. We are making it snow more than it naturally would, and it's happening a whole lot more than we've ever done it in the past. You'll want to stick around for that, and your local news and weather are next. Afternoon, we open up Lufkin, Shreveport, Little Rock, and Jonesboro. Mostly damaging wind threat here too. Your local weather coming up right now. And our next storm threat doesn't arrive until this weekend. So the second half of the work week, we settle into a calm
initiative. We count down to Earth Day here on GMA and ABC. We're taking a look at rivers across the country. Jenny, an innovative tool that could help?
Yes, so we just learned from the organization American Rivers that part of the Colorado River, the part around the Grand Canyon, well, it has been named the most endangered river in our nation. The whole river and its critical reservoirs, Lake Mead, Lake Powell, they've been seeing historic lows. But now we are learning about a major ramp up of a tool that gives Mother Nature a boost. It's called weather modification or cloud seeding. I studied this stuff, but it has changed dramatically since even 20 years ago. And it's happening right now in 10 states across the western United States.
The Colorado River, called the hardest working river in the United States, is in danger.
This is due to two causes: reductions in precipitation and increased air temperatures. We're now seeing flows in the Colorado River that we've never seen before since records were kept.
The river provides hydropower to 7 states, irrigation to more than 5 million acres of farmland, drinking water to 40 million Americans, and of course, the breathtaking whitewater rapids running through the Grand Canyon. All of it threatened by more than 2 decades in a megadrought.
There's actually a better term for what we're in: an ongoing aridification of the American West. Aridification means the warming and drying, the long-term warming and drying is permanent. It's not temporary.
We can't just flip a switch like Colonel Joe Moore in Mad Max Fury Road. But we do have a superpower, straight out of science fiction's X-Men: The Last Stand. It's called weather modification, or cloud seeding. We check it out. Yeah. Garrett Kamens heads up one of the largest cloud seeding companies in the U.S.
Has the desperation in the mega drought made the interest in cloud seeding skyrocket?
Oh, definitely.
There are currently 42 cloud seeding projects across the American West, like this one in Utah, where they take planes like this with flares attached. They fly right into the storm and send microscopic particles into the cloud.
Particles that act like magnets for water droplets, bonding together until they are heavy enough to fall to the ground as rain or snow. Kamens, whose pilot showed us a cloud seeding demonstration flight, says that cloud seeding can make 3 to 15.
Thanks, George. St. Joe to Pentwater, Lake Michigan is rocking on West Michigan's shoreline there. And that's from the last storm. Now we've got a new storm that's going to come through. It's going to drop some heavy rain too, but winds also will kick those waves up on the Great Lakes. Look at the heavy rain coming to us this weekend. Let's go check a little closer to home.
The latest for us. Good morning, Ginger.
Hey, good morning to you, Michael. It's that low pressure system that really kicked up those winds, and today it's going to be further south, anywhere from Boone, North Carolina, back to Florence, Alabama. Has to look out. Atlanta could see
As far as air travel, so keep an eye on that. I also wanted to mention, we had a super soaker of a weekend. Look at the flood.
The damage from just yesterday in New Hampshire. That was cars pushed over, really hefty rainfall that went right into those rivers. Well, the backside of this new low, this has snow on it, so much so that Marquette had nearly 20 inches in their first day of May. Yes, there's going to be snow that moves east with this system. They've had their, 5 feet above normal up there, but it's a tenacious low that sticks around through midweek.
Snow in May. Okay, Ginger, thanks very much.
Let's go back to Ginger.
Hey, Michael, Mississippi River at the Quad Cities is now going down. Crested yesterday, but unfortunately downstream on the Mississippi, you still do have a few days left.
Major coming in the way of more melt, even though they've had a bit more snow. We'll have updates on that, but your local weather coming up in just 30 seconds. That's it? Yeah.
Over now to Ginger.
That is not what my dance team looked like. That's for sure. I had to show you some things happening up in Ashland, Wisconsin. Cheryl always sends us great video. This is an ice there. Really did not have a lot of ice on the Great Lakes this whole season, as it's been so incredibly warm. And we know as all of that melts, we're still upping some of the smaller rivers, but we also have winds. Remember that big low pressure system we were talking about, the winds that caused the descent there. So wind gusts also going to be up to 40 miles per hour. It's not just nearly the entire state of Minnesota, but it's northwest Iowa too. So keep an eye on those winds and don't start any fires for sure, because they can get out of control pretty easily. Finally, wanted to leave you with this. One of our favorite clouds, the Mammatus clouds. in Austin, Texas. We could see more of those, which I'll show you severe weather in a bit. But coming up here on GMA, all the best moments from the Met Gala. GMA was right there on the catwalk. And then the soap opera queen, Susan Lucci, here live. And we've got the latest on the coronation. We're taking you to the town that King Charles built from the ground up.
The Thanksgiving play. It's a New York.
Stephanie, and there is a new threat on the way for millions of Americans. Ginger's tracking the latest. Hey, Ginger.
Hey, Michael, that threat is from that same low pressure system that kicked up the winds in Illinois. It's going to be super gusty, but farther south now. So Boone, North Carolina, a little sliver of Virginia, back to Huntsville, Alabama, Atlanta included, with the gust today that could go up to 45 miles per hour. Now, we probably won't have that horrible consequence or coincidence of having a field that was just plowed combined with those winds in these places, but you could see air travel impacted. And then more than a half foot of rain fell. Remember how our weekend was a mess? Well, look in Maine. This is what it looked like just yesterday after all that flash flooding came through. We had that warning up yesterday, and boy, did it come true. Nearly 20 inches of snow on the back side of the system. This is in Marquette, Michigan. They have had their 4th snowiest season on record. And Robin, this system is going to keep moving to the east. I'm going to call it a pesky low pressure system because it's going to stick around for us through about Wednesday. Everybody wants to know when the sunshine's coming. You're going to have to wait till late week.
It is May, right?
It sure is.
Okay, just checking. Just checking the calendar. All right, thanks as always.
George, on that Virginia Beach tornado, that was an EF3 we know now. That Virginia Beach County has never had in recorded history. That goes back to 1950. Now, Virginia itself gets plenty of tornadoes and has had 9 EF3s in history. But again, April, a very busy month, as is May, so keep an eye out. Damaging winds and a tornado threat comes up. This is for Thursday from Oklahoma City down to San Antonio. Let's get a check now a little closer to home.
They just take family. Guys, you stink.